What is up, family? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody's doing well. So guys, in today's video, I'm going to be going through a team review here for the Astonishing X-Men team, aka the X-Men, and this team is absolutely amazing. I cannot really believe just really how strong of a team this team is, man. There's so much fun in the game too as well. You know, and they honestly, when it comes to this team, Scopely definitely did not disappoint. I think initially, right, with Jubilee on this, with Jubilee as the legendary, we were kind of just like, what in the world were they thinking? You know, but after we saw those initial kits, man, with Bishop, with Jubilee, the synergy there, and then the rest of the team kind of just coming together as a whole, I think we kind of started to warm up to the idea of this team here, and they definitely did not disappoint, man. So today we're going to go through a few different things, talk about the team structure here, you know, kind of how I'm positioning the team, talk about the top tunes that you're definitely going to want to invest into on this team to make sure that they're kind of the bigger ones that are essentially carrying this team to make sure that they perform the way that you desire, whether it's in raids, you know, war, and I think some may have tried them already out in arena. I've already seen them to be a pretty strong team also even in PvP. So a lot of really good options. Going to talk about some alternate options too as well for Jubilee, because I know that not everybody was able to land Jubilee. Obviously, I think this team is way better and functions at a very, very high level with Jubilee as the legendary. But, you know, definitely going to talk about some other options that you have available here, ISOs, things like that too as well, guys. But let's not take it any longer, guys. Let's dive into the video right now. Welcome back, guys. What is going on? Hope everybody is well. So this is my team right now. This is my Astonishing X-Men team. They're about 219k, so not very big at all. What you saw them in the battle that I was doing in the background here was Ultimate 7 difficulty 3, and they were doing some work, right? They actually ended up finishing that node. I hit auto after a while because I just got tired of clicking buttons. So I hit auto and they were able to finish it. They didn't really have much difficulty at all. So doing very well as far as I'm concerned. Love the big damage, you know, from Bishop, especially when he's charged. He's doing a lot of damage there. Beast is an absolute essential character on this team for the heals and then also for clearing those negative effects off the team. Iceman with the slows, you know, also being able to, you know, ping, you know, them whenever an enemy goes and they have slow on them. He's always pinging them, doing some piercing damage, you know, and also he's lowering armor and lowering damage when an enemy also has slow too. So I think that's essential. Jubilee is so good, you know, with all of the assists. You know, she's the, you know, they're assisting on every turn. There's not a turn where they're not assisting. They're always assisting on every single turn. You know, there's always double attacks, right? Or sometimes triple attacks because of those vulnerables. And Kitty Pryde loves sort of the additional utility that she does add to this team too as well. The additional stealth, the evades, things like that, I think are very good, you know, for this team. But this is where I have them at right now. I currently right now, in terms of placement, I'll go through that really quickly. So as you can see, 219k, right? And placement, I have Iceman in the middle, you know, high health character. You know, I feel like he's going to be fine in that particular area. I have Bishop at the very end because he taunts, you know, so kind of wanted them to keep him away from Jubilee and Beast because they're, in my opinion, Jubilee, Beast, and Bishop are the three essential characters on this team. So you want them to be able to stay alive. Bishop can take care of himself, right, with that taunt and the damage reduction, you know, because when he does have that taunt, so, you know, pretty good there. And then of course, you know, Kitty Pryde, she gains stealth whenever she goes below 50%. So even if she is getting some of those adjacent hits, she's going to be able to protect herself, you know, where that's concerned. So that's kind of like my idea with the placement. Nothing crazy, you know, probably a better placement that somebody has, but that's kind of how I'm running with it right now. In terms of T4s, these are the T4s that I've gone with so far. So I've gone with the passive on Bishop right now. I liked, you know, the extra damage reduction, the 10% damage reduction, and then it gave him the 100% chance to counterattack. And it also gave him 20%, an extra 10% damage in raids whenever he does have offense up. Thought that was essential, you know, for his kit. For the ultimate ability, I am definitely going to be T4 in this. You know, if once I T4, number one, I love the cooldown. 2, ability energy, the cooldown is great. And then also the additional 120% damage to primary and secondary targets when he has charged, definitely considering T4 in this. And I think I'm going to do it, you know, as well, once I finally do get that opportunity to, and I've put some other T4s on some of the rest of the team here. The other abilities, special, 60% damage, don't really think it's necessary. 60% damage, don't really think that's necessary either. It's not a big damage output increase, so I don't think it's really, you know, with T4s being such a bottleneck, or with there not being an abundance of T4s, I don't think it's really necessary to put that in there. For Beast, I am only going to be T4 in his special ability. I'm clearing before, right? It's as it stands right now with the T4, clearing 1 to 2 negative effects from self and all Astonishing X-Men allies, you know, healing the 2 most injured. When you T4 this, you're going to be clearing 2 negative effects from self and all Astonishing X-Men allies. He's the only cleanser on the team. I think it's imperative, you know, that you put this T4 on him, because you want to be able to clear all of those negative effects, right? Think about it. You know, Bishop is taunting. He's getting offense down, defense down, bleeds, you know, heal block. You want to be able to clear, you know, those negative effects. So definitely, I would say important to be able to have, you know, that T4 on them. The rest of them, 10% resistance for self and X-Men allies. Nice, but not really an essential T4 in my opinion. Ultimate ability, apply regeneration to self and all mutant allies. I actually think that this hurts the team a little bit, because part of, you know, the Jubilee Beast, you know, sort of interaction here is that whenever an ally gets below 50%, Jubilee speeds him up. He gains ability energy, so he's going to be able to do that special. So I think regeneration to a certain extent might hurt the team a little bit. So for this, I don't really think that that's actually an essential T4 in my personal opinion. Basic ability, only damage, not necessary at all. Iceman, I'm only going to be putting this T4 that I've already put into him right now, you know, for raids, or really for his kit. This kit's all about slows, right? Getting those slows out there. You know, with that slow, he's lowering armor by 20% for all enemies with slow. Previously, before, it was only 10%. So I think that that's worth it, right? Lowering armor, you're going to be able to do more damage, or more damage is going to be applied, you know, if you have that additional 10%. You know, so I think that that's worth it. In raids, lowering damage by 30%. Previously, before, was only 20%. So I think for me, that definitely is worth it. Lowering their damage is important in my opinion. Less damage you take on, the more opportunities you have to be able to survive. It did increase his piercing ability, piercing damage by 30%, but I don't know. That's not really an important aspect for me. It's really about those other things. Ultimate ability, he's getting some additional barrier with the max health, and then he's doing some additional damage, but he's not really a damage dealer, so I don't find that to be as useful, as important. And the extra barrier that he's getting there, he gets enough, you know, in my opinion, so I don't really think that he necessarily needs that either. Special ability, only damage, not worth it. And then basic ability, only damage, not worth it in my opinion. For Jubilee, I think that there are probably 2 essential T4s that you want to put on her. Definitely the passive ability here for sure. Previously, before, remember we talked about how she's speeding up Beast whenever an Astonishing X-Men ally drops below 50% damage, right? She's filling that Beast speed bar by 30% now with the T4. Previously, only 20%, so additional 10% speed, good. There's additional things that this passive does, you know, too as well, right? Gaining 30% max health for self and all Astonishing X-Men allies. Previously, before, it was only 20%. Yeah, I mean, we just want more health, especially with a team that you're putting minor little investment into, right? You want to be able to get as much health as possible, you know, from the kits here. So I think that this is an important T4. And then in raids, you know, there's an additional 10% damage that she's given to self and all Astonishing X-Men allies. It was only 30% before, so now it's going up to 40%. I think that that's a very good T4 on her. The next one that I thought about was the special ability. This is essential for me. Applying offense up to self and 2 random Astonishing X-Men allies. Attack primary target for 240% damage. Oh, let's not skip this. Apply offense up to self and 2 random Astonishing X-Men allies. So this ability here, she's going to be attacking the primary target for 240% damage and an assist at 50% from 3 to 4 random Astonishing X-Men allies. And gaining assists from, she can also be used outside of the Astonishing X-Men ally, because she's going to call 2 random non-summon, non-Astonishing X-Men allies as well. But the big thing here, it was only applying offense up to 2 random Astonishing X-Men allies. It's now doing it to all Astonishing X-Men allies. And then she's also not only going to be gaining it from the 3 to 4 random Astonishing X-Men allies, but she's going to be getting assists from all Astonishing X-Men allies. So all of them are going to have offense up. All of them are going to be able to assist. And if they kill, she's going to be able to spread 3 negative effects from the primary target to all enemies. So this doesn't change with the T4, but it just heightens, sort of like the effect of this, right? If everybody has offense up, if all of them are attacking and then they do kill, then they're going to be spreading 3 negative effects from the primary target to all the other enemies. Of course, it will not spread stun. I thought about the ultimate because of the big damage output, but she's on a big damage dealer, so I don't really think it's necessary per se. So I kind of skipped this one. 50% to secondary targets, 20% piercing. I skipped this one. The only, I don't know, if this was like one of those, kind of maybe with the increased damage output, maybe the stun will land, because I am having some issues right now with the stuns landing. So maybe that might affect it, right? If there's more damage, then maybe the stuns might land a little bit more. But I think for me, I might just be making that up, right? For me, it's just one of those, I don't have the high red stars on her, so it doesn't always land. So that's kind of, I'm not really even thinking about T4 in that right now. Maybe if I get higher red stars, I will consider it. I thought about the basic as well. Outside of raid, she's only blinding at 50%. In raid, she's always blinding. So, I thought about the extra 20% chance to blind, but really, I don't know, man. I just think that if it's not 100% chance, then it's not really worth the T4, right? It's that currency again, right? You got to be careful with that one. So don't think it's necessarily worth it. And then for Kitty Pryde, man, there are 2 that I thought about for her passive ability for sure. When she drops below 50%, she's now gaining stealth for 2 turns as opposed to the 1 turn. If Jubilee is an ally on an enemy miss or Astonishing X-Men dodge, heal the most injured Astonishing X-Men ally for 10% now as opposed to only 5%. And then she's always going to apply evade to the most injured Astonishing X-Men ally. Before, I think it was a 50% chance, to apply it. So now she's always, going to be applying that, so I think that that's really important T4 for her. Ultimate ability, 60% damage, not a big damage dealer, not necessarily in my opinion. Special ability, fill the speed bar by 10. Useful, but not really, I don't think. Maybe in war that might be more valuable, but I definitely thought about this basic because she's going to be able to clear 2 positive effects from the primary target. That might be an essential one that you want to put on her, in my opinion. So I may consider this after taking care of the other ones that I consider to be essential, and then maybe come back to this one later just because of the T4 costs, in my opinion. But those are the T4s that I would recommend. In terms of ISOs, so Bishop for me is a striker. Damage, that's really what he is. So I went with striker, on him just for the additional damage. For Beast, I went with Skirmisher. Same thing. I thought about healer, right? And I thought about the regeneration. He's going to apply regeneration. I thought that might counter the team a little bit in a sense, and kind of might take away from some of the stuff that he's able to do. So that's the reason why I decided not to go, with healer, and I put Skirmisher on him because I wanted him to be able to mark so that Bishop, could also, and also when you think about the assist, he's also going to be able to mark. So just things like that I just thought about with Beast. I want him to be able to mark so that Bishop can always do double taps, as much as possible. So that's the reason why I have him as a Skirmisher. Iceman, I have him as a Raider right now. I thought about Skirmisher, because a lot of people were saying increase focus for Skirmisher, but what I realized is that it only really increases at level 5, so you get the extra 50% focus. I'm not gonna be able to get him a level 5 for a while, so I don't think that that's going to really add much value. The Raider actually still works. He's still landing a lot of those vulnerables, which of course helps me out with Bishop as a striker. So I definitely think that that's the direction that I'm going with him right now as a Raider. So I like that. And then for Jubilee, I have her as a skirmisher as well. I could have put her as a striker, but I just thought about the interaction again, just being able to land those vulnerables. I thought that was valuable, landing a blind and then also being able to clear a positive effect. You know, if they already have a vulnerable 2 on them too, was also another appealing idea for me. So skirmisher for her right now. I do think I also do have, I did put striker on her too, so I can always toggle back and forth if I feel like, you know, skirmisher is not working. I'm probably just going to keep it at level 3 for a while moving forward. And then for Kitty Pryde, because of this basic clearing 1 positive effect, and because I don't have a T4 yet, I thought striker worked the best on her. Potentially might go with healer if she does get that 4th red star, but I think striker, just because of that clearing of the positive effect, you know, being able to do that if the character has vulnerable, being able to do that twice if they have, you know, multiple, you know, positive effects on them, I think was the best way to go. So that's T4s and ISOs. A lot of people are asking me questions. What are the alternate options if you do not have Jubilee? I think that there's not really a lot. I mean, you could probably go with Storm. Storm does also have slows in her kit, so that will definitely benefit, you know, Iceman and work in Iceman's favor. But I just think that there's so much that Jubilee does on the team that there may not be a really phenomenal, you know, sort of obvious replacement, you know, for her if you don't have her, because obviously she's a new legendary, so that might not work, right? So, you know, that's kind of like my thought process, you know, with it. You could probably try Jubilee I also thought about maybe, you know, having the Dabros on the team if you don't have maybe another one of the characters. Dabros, you know, with those extra crits and things like that could be really helpful. I know that they've been, you know, I think some of those later game players have been testing out Dabros with this team in raids. So maybe that might be an option for you, but I haven't really thought about alternative options yet. Those are just kind of what I'm thinking about. But this team is excellent, man. In raids, obviously great, but they're also very good in war. So far, I've used them to beat Doc Ock Sinister Six teams. Jubilee's been essential as a part of that, being able to land those stuns on Doc Ock, and then kind of picking apart the rest of the team. I've used them to punch up as well against Hydra. Hydra is also another one, stunning Red Skull, you know, kind of working down the rest of the team. Once you start killing characters, right, you're getting that 25% speed bar. That's really, really essential and helpful. I've not done this myself. I've seen people use them against mercs in war, but I have not used them myself against mercs in war, so I can't really speak to that. But I've heard people use them against mercs, and that, you know, that it's gone well, that they can actually do some punch ups. The punch ups I did with Doc Ock, Sinister Six, and the Hydra team was actually not that difficult at all. Well, it kind of was, because I think Doc Ock had a level 5 healer ISO on him, so, or level 4, and you know, that kind of healer ISO on Doc Ock is just a nightmare. But yes, mercs I've heard that they beat that team. And then for arena, there's also the Black Order team that I've heard that people have used them against Black Order teams and have beaten them. Once again, I have not tried that. My team is not that big to even try that right now, so I can't speak to the validity of that, or not saying that it's not valid, but I can't speak to it myself because I've not done it. I can only talk about I beat Sinister Six, Doc Ock, I beat Hydra. You know, I tried as Guardians, but it was too big of a punch up. It was a 400k team. You know, I don't know what I was thinking, you know, so that's kind of where my experience is right now with this team. And obviously you've seen me already do raids. I did get to the Ultimus node with this team. They were able to take out 4 characters. Surprisingly, one of them was Captain Marvel. So this team is really good, man. They work really well, and I'm very happy with, you know, sort of the investment that I put into the team, and I'm going to continue to put even more investment into the Astonishing X-Men team as well. But listen, guys, hopefully this was a helpful video for you. You know, like I said, it's just sharing my experience. I'm going to continue to do some team reviews here, you know, for some other teams in the game right now. Let me know if there's specific things that you want to see me do in these team reviews, you know, that would be helpful for you guys as well. But much love. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.